Plano mo bang gumawa ng research and development project para makagawa ng bagong produkto o mapaunlad ang iyong negosyo pero kulang ka sa kagamitan at pasilidad? Baka ito na ang makatulong sa iyo, ang Business Innovation through S&T for Industry Program ng DOST na nagbibigay pondo para sa technology acquisition ng mga piling Filipino companies. At ngayong Biyernes, ating pakinggan ang kwento at karanasan ng ilang kumpanya na naging benepisyaryo ng BIST. Makasama natin sina Mr. John Vincent Ensoliesta, ang President ng Pharma Galax Innovations Incorporated. Si Dr. Homer Pantua, ang Chairman and President ng Bioassets Corporation. Si Dr. Jerome O. Palaganas, ang Co-Founder and CEO ng Nanotronics Incorporated. At si Mr. Philip Cruz, ang President ng UrbanX Laboratories Incorporated. Alamin yan at iba pang Science for the People projects ng Department of Science and Technology mula mismo kay DOST Secretary Fortunato Boy de la Peña. Pagkarutukan natin yan sa DOST Report tuwing Biyernes alas 4 ng hapon sa DOST TV Facebook page at YouTube channel. Magandang agham Pilipinas! Welcome po sa DOST TV Facebook page at YouTube channel. Ito, programang una sa mga napapanong balita tungkol sa agham, teknolohiya at informasyon para sa bayan. Ito ang DOST Report. Ako po ang inyong kapatid sa Mamurid, Orin Miranda. At kasama po natin ang kalihim ng kagawaran ng agham at teknolohiya, ang nag-iisang DOST Secretary Fortunato Boy de la Peña. Magandang agham po, Sec Boy.
Magandang araw din sa iyo, Onin, at magandang araw sa ating mga taga-subaybay.
Mamaya ating pag-uusapan sa component project ng Science for Change Program, Business Innovation through S&T o BIST for Industry. Pero bago ang lahat ng yan, alamin natin ang latest na balita tungkol sa agham at teknolohiya sa mga rehiyon at sa buong bansa. Mula mismo kay Secretary Boy.
Katulad ng dati, ay ibibigay ko ang week achievements ng ending April 29 today ng Department of Science and Technology at uumpisahan natin ito sa kalusugan, susundan ng kabuhayan, ng kaayusan at ng kinabukasan. So, isa lang ang ating report dito sa kalusugan. DOST, Food and Nutrition Research Institute, launched 8 new food products for children, adults, pregnant, and lactating women. The DOST FNRI launched new nutritious food products with the theme Bagong Produkto, Bagong Pag-asa, Swak sa Masa, and it was done last April 27, 2022. The 8 new DOST FNRI developed food technologies include complementary foods with coconut, such as number 1, Coco Blend, number 2, Coco Puff, number 3, Coco Bisque, number 4, Mea Lusog in a pack. This is containing pork picadillo, chicken pochero, and mixed vegetables arroz. And number 5, you have Nutri-Bannets. Number 6, Protein Food Bar. Number 7, Multi-Nutrient Extruded Rice Kernels, Premix and Fortified Rice for pregnant and lactating women. And number 8, Micronutrient Growth Mix for pregnant and lactating women. The launching featured product briefers and simultaneous pitching sessions in different breakout rooms to discuss its new product in detail. Now we move on to kabuhayan. The first report comes from our DOST in the Cordillera. They held a 2-day training on coffee processing for farmers in Natonin Mountain Province. Our DOST car, through the Provincial Science and Technology Center of Mountain Province, the DTI of Mountain Province, and the local government unit of Natonin, conducted a 2-day training on coffee processing for the project entitled Community-Based Project on the Establishment of Coffee Processing Center in Natonin. This was held for 2 days on April 6 and 7, 2022 at the Bunag Farmers Association located in Sitio Tuboy, Banawal na tonin. The proper processing of coffee beans, coffee tree rejuvenation, and product packaging and labeling were discussed by resource speakers, namely Jennifer Rimando, owner of the Ola Farms, and Jones Malwagay of the DTI Mountain Province. The next kabuhayan report comes from DOST Region 2, stating that they have extended livelihood assistance to indigenous people in Kasibu. With the goal of assisting indigenous people, DOST Region 2, through the Provincial Science and Technology Center of Nueva Vizcaya, and in collaboration with the Department of Social Welfare and Development, awarded metalworking equipment to the Cordon Indigenous Peoples Organization, or CIPA. This was on April 6, 2022. The assistance is provided under the DOST's Community Empowerment through Science and Technology, or CES program. DOST Region 2 will also organize trainings on the maintenance of the equipment and other technical support to increase the production of the said group. The organization CIPA was established with the assistance of various organizations with the aim of capacitating them with new technologies and further engage them in livelihood activities. To date, CIPA has 102 members. The Provincial Science and Technology Center of Nueva Vizcaya also facilitated a 2-day business management training program for association officers and other members. The organization was guided on the process of identifying the latter's strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats before developing its vision, mission, goals, and objectives. The next report comes from DOST Region 5, stating that they have approved assistance through the Small Enterprise Technology Upgrading Program to 4 micro, small, and medium enterprises in Masbate. They have approved the applications of the 4 in Masbate for technical assistance under setup with a total innovation fund support of 4.4 million pesos. Under setup, the cooperating MSMEs will receive innovation system support that includes appropriate technologies, usually in the form of upgraded equipment, consultancy services, packaging, and labeling assistance, among others. These are intended to help them address technical constraints, boost productivity, and enhance competitiveness for their companies. DOST Region 5 aims to assist more local MSMEs in Masbate this year through our Small Enterprise Technology Upgrading Program. The next report still comes from our Region 5, stating that the DOST Region 5, the Camarines Sur Chamber of Commerce and Industry Incorporated, or CSCCI, and the Camarines Sur Polytechnic Colleges, or CSPC, have signed a partnership for IDEA, IDEYA. This was last October 5, and also in partnership with the Rinconada Center for Technology Transfer and Enterprise Development under the Office of Production and Entrepreneurial Development Service of the local government. And IDEA, actually, IDEYA, is designed for student technopreneurs of the Camarines Sur Polytechnic Colleges with business ideas that have high potential and market viability. So the project is actually entitled IDEA, Setting Unlimited Ideas in Motion. Through this collaboration, the technopreneur students will be provided with funding assistance and support from industry practitioners to enhance their technopreneurial competencies. The next set of reports are on kaayusan. The first one is that of the partnership among DOST, DTI, the Food and Drug Administration, and the Department of Agriculture convening together for packaging and labeling services. The DOST Region 2 will collaborate with the FDA, DA, and DTI in Region 2 to enhance the national government agencies' assistance in increasing productivity of local MSMEs. And this is through packaging and mandatory labeling of products. The highlight of the convergence meeting was held on April 7 with the aim of harmonizing and clarifying each office jurisdiction to rationalize the fund allocation and resources being used and being spent by the respective agencies. So in the said convergence meeting, FDA discussed the packaging and labeling requirements, including the Administrative Order 2014-0030 and the mandatory label information, while the packaging and labeling programs and assistance being provided were discussed by DOST Region 2. Now, also DTI and DA. The said meeting was attended by the DOST Region 2 Regional Director and of course the officials of the collaborating agencies. The next report comes from DOST Calabarzon. Okay, we are still on Kaayusan, and this is regarding their project called Explore. DOST Calabarzon presented their project Explore, which is an online R&D database to Southern Tagalog Industry and Energy R&D Consortium. The DOST Calabarzon presented the exchange of probes, learnings, and outputs of researchers, or Explore, through the Human Resources Committee of the Southern Tagalog Consortium for Industry and Energy Research and Development. This was last April 7, 2022, via an online platform. Explore is a database that aims to be the central repository of research programs or projects of government agencies and academic institutions in the region, with the goal of sharing R&D information between and among researchers and organizations. Explore hopes to encourage more R&D projects, publications, and to generate more intellectual properties, and further strengthen the linkages and collaborations in the research community. DOST's Engineer Francisco Barquilla III, the DOST Calabarzon Assistant Regional Director for Technical Operations, led the discussion and walked the member agencies through Explore's objectives, key features, status, users, and contributing agencies in the region. He said that while the Explore was developed by DOST Calabarzon, the said information is owned by the Regional Research and Innovation Committee, or RRIC, of the Regional Development Council in Calabarzon. In Calabarzon, there are currently 66 users and 30 agencies and institutions enrolled in this system. A total of 508 R&D projects are already stored, and furthermore, Explore has also been adopted by other regions like DOST Region 8, okay, for the Regional Research Development and Innovation Committee. Now we move on to kinabukasan. The first report is from the DOST Science Education Institute, and this is regarding their search for innovative STEM teachers on the DOST Science Education Institute's recently launched Search for the Brightest Star 2022. This is a recognition program under its Science Teachers Academy for the Regions, or STAR, training program. The Brightest Star Award is given to exemplary science and mathematics teachers who have been effectively integrating their STAR training in their teaching practice. The program aims to cultivate a culture of innovation among teachers, and the nomination is open for teachers who have attended a regional level STAR training for the period 2014 to 2021 and are in service during their time of attendance to the training. They must currently be teaching at the basic education level and should also be endorsed by his or her school principal and school's division superintendent. Teacher participants who have been a national finalist in previous searches shall no longer be allowed to join this year's search. Qualified teachers may submit their scanned nominee information sheet on or before June 3, 2022, and information about the search may be obtained from the estar.ph of the Facebook page Science Teacher Academy for the regions. The next report comes from our DOST International Science and Technology Cooperation Office, and It says the DOST revitalizes its science, technology, and innovation bilateral relations with Australian institutions. The DOST is revitalizing its bilateral relations with Australian research institutions and universities through a scientific visit of DOST officials to the country, and this was from April 17 to 23, 2022. The delegation was led by Undersecretary for Research and Development, Dr. Rowena Cristina L. Guevara, with the aim of strengthening existing ties of DOST with research institutions, and that includes the Australian Centre for International Agricultural Research, or ASIAR, the Commonwealth Scientific Industrial Research Organization, or CSIRO, the Australian Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade, or DFAT. These include identifying areas for common interest where resources and expertise of DOST and partners can advance more research and capacity building programs. Several concrete collaborations, including a scholarship program with ASIAR, were discussed during the meetings and will be formalized through an agreement to be signed by DOST with these research institutions. During the mission, DOST also reinvigorated the implementation of the existing Memorandum of Understanding with the Swinburne University of Technology, which include, among others, scholarship and sandwich programs in the field of biomedical engineering, where the university has distinct advantage. And also, the scientific visit saw DOST forging new partnerships with the Royal Melbourne Institute of Technology through the signing of a Memorandum of Understanding for scientific cooperation. Specific areas and modes of cooperation identified in scholarship programs and joint research activities in the fields of food technology and innovation, as well as digital health, were discussed. The DOST delegation also discussed opportunities to operationalize its existing Memorandum of Understanding with James Cook University. During the meeting, the delegation agreed to work in the following areas, namely emerging diseases and tropical diseases, Internet of Things, agriculture and food security, and marine science. The possible collaboration also included scholarship programs for clinicians. The visit also gave opportunity to the delegation to learn about the important work and innovation on coral reef restoration of the African Institute of Marine Science, the country's tropical marine research agency. Other universities which the delegation visited include the Queensland University of Technology, the Southern Cross University, the Griffith University, and the University of Queensland, all of which agreed to formalize the department's institutional partnership to a Memorandum of Understanding that will outline the parties' areas of common interest as well as its mode of cooperation. The delegation actually began their mission in Canberra, where they paid a courtesy call on to Her Excellency Helen de la Vega, the Philippine Ambassador to Australia. The delegation's visit also served as an opportunity for the department to promote among Filipino scientists and researchers in Australia DOST's Balik Scientist program that encourages Filipinos to come back to the Philippines and contribute to the advancement of STI in the country. Organized by the Philippine Embassy in Australia, the webinar gathered over 25 Filipino scientists and researchers who were distinguished themselves in their specific areas of work. Comes from DOST Region 3, and this is regarding DOST Region 3 and Aurora State College of Science and Technology's opening of the Smart Indoor Agricultural Project facilities in San Luis, Aurora Province. The DOST Region 3 and ASCOT Partnership Project, which utilizes hydroponics and Internet of Things, opened the Smart Indoor Agricultural Project facilities in San Luis, Aurora Province, located in a 700 square meter property donated by the local government unit of San Luis Municipality to the DOST. The agricultural production facilities are enclosed in protective structures with remotely controlled plant growth conditions like temperature, relative humidity, and nutrient level using Internet of Things. DOST-3 gave a grant of 1.8 million pesos for the facilities, while ASCOT is taking care of human resources and other equipment requirements. The LGU provided the land. The opening was attended by DOST officials led by the Secretary and the Undersecretaries for Regional Operations and Scientific and Technical Services, as well as the Region Directors of Central Luzon. ASCOT was represented by its President, Forester Dr. Yotikio Rotakio Jr. The next report is on kinabukasan, and the first one is on the opening of the Marinduque Science Centrum to the public last April 18, 2022. This regional science centrum is the second of the first 5 regional science centrum put up by DOST in the regions in partnership with LGUs and universities. It is the goal of DOST to have a science centrum in its region of the country. Mimaropa Science Centrum will actually facilitate science learning of a wide range of science concepts using hands-on exhibits developed by the Philippine Foundation for Science and Technology that are novel, stimulating, multisensory, and fun. Aside from the interactive exhibits, the Science Centrum also has DOST's Starbooks, or the Science and Technology Academic and Research-based openly operated kiosk stations, an information kiosk where hundreds of thousands of digitized science and technology resources in various formats can be accessed and be used in agreements, research, or even businesses. Many experts have developed techniques and ways to communicate science to the public. This facility, this Science Centrum, is among the many creative ways of DOST to engage people, both young and adults, to take interest and appreciate science, its impact and implications in the daily lives and in society. It is in these pursuits that the passions are lit and the future scientists, engineers, entrepreneurs, inventors, and innovators are born. Continuing this path is a way to enhance our performance in science and technology and develop S&T human resources that will be soon created using solutions to the country's problems. And the last report I have is still on kinabukasan. The Department of Science and Technology celebrated the National Women's Month 2022 in support of Republic Act 6949. The GAD or GAD and the Regional Support Services led by Assistant Secretary Diana Ignacio spearheaded the kick-off activity of the celebration and coordinated with the DOST regional clusters for the conduct of online fora. North Luzon cluster had their forum on March 22, 2022, and it was about mainstreaming in the community, which highlighted the CEST program. Then we have the South Luzon cluster held last March 30, 2022, focused on supporting women in research. Then Visayas cluster forum on women amidst disaster was last March 18, 2022. And lastly, the Mindanao cluster forum on the role of women in resilience building, a webinar on rising above disaster held last March 25, 2022. The forum on women at the front line of climate change was the kick-off activity in DOST, and this was held last March 8, 2022. It was attended by employees from DOST Central Office, from regional offices, and from attached agencies, and participated in by other national and local organizations. So there were a total 1,032 attendees. The activity aimed to increase awareness of the Women's Month celebration and provide opportunities to raise concerns on climate change. The virtual activity was formally opened with the inspiring messages from our Assistant Secretary for Human Resource Management, Development Services and Special Concerns, who is actually in charge of the GAD and Regional Support Service. And we also have the DOST-wide GAD focal person. We have Dr. Diana Ignacio, and yours truly was there at the opening. The emphasis was on the impact of climate change on women and how important their role is in addressing environmental issues and concerns. DOST has a big role in addressing climate change, and this year's Women's Month celebration is an opportune time to hear women making their voices heard and initiate trailblazing changes. A perfect time to celebrate women's power to take the narrative, raise climate and environmental issues that matter to them, and call for concrete action. At yan nagwawakas ang ating DOST report, April 29 version. Maraming salamat sa inyong walang sawang pakikinig.
Maraming salamat po, Sec Boy. Natuloy po ninyong kabuuan ng DOST updates para sa nagdaang linggo. May namiss ka bang balita? Maaari mo itong balik-balikan, gustahin lamang ang dostv.ph o i-download ang DOSTV app sa inyong Android phone para pwede ka manood ng DOST report anytime, anywhere. Sa aming pong pagbalik, ating tatalakayin ang isa pang programa sa ilan ng Science for Change program ng DOST, ang Innovation through SMT o DAST for Industry. Usapang negosyo at siyensya tayo sa pagbalik ng DOST Report. Kayo po'y nanonood ng DOST Report, ang programang una sa mga napapanong balita tungkol sa agham, teknolohiya at inomasyon para sa bayan. At ngayong araw, ating pag-uusapan ng isang programa na nagbibigay ng pondo para sa technology acquisition ng mga piling Filipino companies. Isa itong pamamaraan para matulungan ng DOST ang mga pribadong kumpanya na makasabay sa antas ng pandaigdigang merkado. Ang programang ito ay isang component ng Science for Change program, ang Business Innovation through SMT for Industry.
Tama ka, Onin, ang assistance na ibinibigay ng DOST sa pamamagitan ng DIST program ay maaari lamang gamitin sa pag-acquire ng mga high technology equipment o sa pag-secure ng technology licensing at patent rights. Babayaran ng mga nakatanggap na kumpanya ang nasabing financial assistance sa DOST ng walang interest. At ang layunin ng programa natin ito ay matulungan ang mga kumpanya sa ating bansa na makapagsagawa ng sariling research and development projects upang sila ay makapag-innovate ng bagong pamamaraan at bagong produkto na makasasabay sa pandaigdigang merkado.
At ngayong araw, kakamustahin natin ang ilan sa BIST for Industry Program beneficiaries ng DOST. Makasama natin sina Mr. John Vincent N. Soliesta, ang President ng Pharma Galanx Innovations Incorporated. Si Dr. Homer Pantua, ang Chairman and President ng Bioassets Corporation. Si Dr. Jerome Opalaganas, ang Co-Founder and CEO ng Nanotronics Incorporated. At si Mr. Philip Cruz, ang President ng Herbalex Laboratories Incorporated. Magandang araw po sa inyo.
Magandang araw sa lahat ng ating panauhin ngayon at uumpisahan natin ang ating talakayan na ngayon. Magandang araw sa iyo, John Vincent Solesta. Nakita na tayo noon
Yes po, Secretary Boy. Magandang araw po kay Sir Onin at sa lahat po ng nanonood ngayon sa Dost-Report.
Una sa lahat, John Vincent, ipakilala mo muna ang inyong kumpanya, ang Pharma Galenx Innovations Incorporated. Ano ba ang mga produkto o serbisyo ng inyong kumpanya?
Okay, so ang Galenx po ay isang pharma, cosmetic and medical device company. Naka-base po kami sa Iloilo City. Ang mga products namin ay gawang local. May planta po yung parent company namin, ang Maridan Industries. Na formally established po yung company namin noong 2015 sa layunin na mag-offer ng innovative home remedies na safe and effective. Nagsimula po kami sa local operation at ngayon dandahan pong naging available po yung mga products namin sa nationwide chain pharmacies. So kadalasan po sa mga products namin ay for skin application para po sa wounds, yung brand namin yung High Cleanse, at meron din po kaming nasal at mga oral sprays. So kadalasan po sa mga products po namin ay prescribed by doctors at ginagamit din po ng mga allied health professionals.
Sir John, paano po ninyo nalaman ang tungkol sa BIST for Industry Program ng DOST at ano po masasabi po ninyo sa proseso yung pinagdaanan para maging beneficiary nito?
Okay. Thank you po, Sir Onin. So noong 2019 po, mayroon pong chance na makapag-attend kami ng DOST-sponsored seminar. Doon po na-discuss yung tungkol sa BIST. I think bago pa lamang yung pag-introduce ng DOST tungkol sa BIST during that time. So merong nag-hold ng conference dito sa regional level, dito sa Region 6. And tamang-tama po, during that time, napag-isipan din namin na mag-form ng R&D team namin or R&D activities. So nakita ko yung opportunity na kung saan magandang itong gawin ng company namin para mapag-isipan na maging mas competitive kami in the long run. So yun po, at first, actually 2 beses po kami nag-apply for BIST program. Yung first po naging challenging po talaga sa amin kasi knowing a typical Filipino MSME, hindi po masyadong malaki yung technical know-how sa paggawa ng mga research proposal. So, pag-isipan namin na i-hold muna yung application namin during that time, mga around 2019 po, yun 2020. So, pero yung challenge kasi gusto kong i-break yung status ko na yun coming from the region na gusto kong gawin na magkaroon yung Iloilo for the time na may BIST company din na magkaroon ng research and development. So sa pangalawang beses, na-contact kami collaborator namin, yun po yung sinabihan kami to try again. And also we contacted our mentors, Dr. Doralinda Lisa, Dr. Jonel Saludes, and also Dr. Al Serafica. They are all DOST balik scientists. And I think malaki po yung tulong nila sa amin in order to prepare our research proposal. So yung advice ko din po sa mga industry is to collaborate more with the academe. Kasi pag nandyan po sila, mas nag-guide po tayo kung ano po yung magandang way na tatahakin patungo po sa approval ng research proposals po namin. So sa second time po na pag-apply po natin, naging madali na po yung pag-defend namin at naging mataas na po yung quality ng research proposal. Kaya nakuha na po namin yung approval ng DOST at that time.
Sa anong R&D project ninyo ginamit itong financial assistance mula sa Business Innovations to Science and Technology for Industry or BIST program ng DOST? At paano ito nakatulong sa inyong company?
So yung BIST project po namin, yun po yung paggawa ng 3D bioprinted human skin equivalents. Ito po ay mga lab-grown skin at gagamitin po yung 3D bioprinter para mas concise at replicable ang mga pag-produce nito. So ito po ay human lab-grown skin mismo. So equipments po na planong bibilihin po nito ay yun po mismo yung 3D bioprinter, yung mga microscopes, yung fluorescent at saka inverted microscopes, incubators, para sa cell culture at eventually para sa tissue engineering. So ang lab-grown skin po ay maging gamitin na alternative for animal testing kasi kadalasan ng animal testing yun po yung conventional na paraan na malaman ang mga products na safe and effective. Sa pamamagitan po ng human skin equivalents, hindi na po kailangan ng animal subject. Maaaring din itong gawin upang obserbahan ang aksyon ng nagawang produkto sa wound healing, skin irritation, anti-aging at mga skin whitening. So ang overall impact po nito, yun po yung capability tayo dito mismo sa bansa natin to substantiate claims sa mga products na nagawa po dito sa Pilipinas. Hindi na po kailangan ng human subjects or animal subjects. So sa amin po malaking savings po ito kasi pinapadala pa namin sa ibang bansa para malaman yung safety and efficacy ng mga products na ito. So mapapabilis din yung R&D process ng company at sa pag-discover ng mga bagong ingredients sa posibleng may magandang epekto sa tao.
Ano sa tingin mo John Vincent, ano pa magagawa ng gobyerno? Hindi lang naman ang DOST para mapalakas ang ating mga Filipino companies sa larangan at innovations at sa larangan ng technology.
Thank you po, Secretary Boy. Sa akin po kasi may paniniwala ko na yung bansa that continuously consumes foreign technologies will remain laggard as compared to countries that consumes and make their own technologies. So recently nagsabi yung NEDA na may possibility na makategorize tayo to upper middle income economy galing sa lower middle income economy by the end of this year. So magandang balita po iyan. Pero sa totoong challenge po, yung tinatawag na middle income trap na kung saan di na masyadong nag-improve yung economy dahil kulang ito sa innovativeness. So ang pag-invest sa R&D ng bansa natin ay isang formula lamang sa pag-iwas sa kalagayan na ito. So yung sekreto ng mga high-income economies katulad ng Amerika, Japan, ay yun po mismo pagbigay ng maraming budget sa R&D activities. So palagay ko may papalago ito, hindi lamang po yung effort ng government. It has to be a two-way effort. Ang kailangan sa both parties, sa government and business. Ngayon ay may mga nakalaan na ng pondo sa mga R&D activities. Yan po yung DOST at saka yung lalo na mismo yung BIST. Yung challenge mismo sa MSMEs based on our experience ay paano ma-access ito. So makakatulong ang government mismo na i-train for technical know-how kung paano gumawa ng magandang research proposal. Kasi kaugalian ng Filipino entrepreneurs ay mag-angkat lamang ng produkto kasi mas madali itong gagawin. Kaso lang, in the long run, in order for us to be more competitive, we have to create our own things. We have to create our own technology at mas maraming nakaka-benefit po nito. So sa aking palagay, it has to be a two-way effort. Hindi lamang ang government will extend its hand for the companies. The company should reach out also and invest some of its revenue sa pag-form ng R&D team para ito mas mapanatiling competitive.
Muling maraming salamat po, Mr. John Vincent N. Soliesta, at more power po sa inyong kumpanya.
So salamat John Vincent sa pagpapaliwanag mo at ngayon ang susunod na Filipino company na featured sa araw na ito ay isa namang veterinary research and diagnostic laboratory, ang Bioassets Corporation. At makakasama naman natin ngayon ang presidente nito na si Dr. Homer Pantua. Magandang araw sa iyo, Homer.
Magandang araw po sa inyo, Secretary de la Peña. Gayon din po sa inyo, Sir Onin, at sa mga taga-subaybay ng palatuntunan ito.
Sir, maaari po ba rin yung ipakilala sa amin ng Bioassets Corporation? At ano po ba mga produkto at serbisyo ng kumpanyang ito?
Ang Bioassets Corporation ay binuo ng mga veterinaryo, scientifico at entrepreneur noong taong 2014. Nakabase ito sa Santo Tomas, Batangas at nagsimula po ito bilang molecular diagnostic laboratory na tumutulong sa mga poultry and swine producers sa buong Pilipinas. We provide diagnostic tools and services to farmers, veterinarians, and industry stakeholders. And we support farmers and veterinarians by providing them unbiased report that aids their decision-making in executing animal health programs. Tulad po sa panahon ng krisis na dulot ng African swine fever, ang bioassets po ang pinakaunang commercial laboratory na nakipagtulungan sa Bureau of Animal Industry at sa animal industry stakeholders. Ang vision po namin ay maging 360 solution provider which offers veterinary diagnostics, customized vaccines, and therapeutics.
Robert, paano po ninyo nalaman ang tungkol sa BIST for Industry Program ng DOST at ano po masabi po ninyo sa inyong prosesong pinagdaanan upang maging beneficiary nito?
Maraming salamat, Sir Ronin. Napag-alaman namin yung programang ito tungkol sa BIST mula sa USA Stride at sa kapwa miyembro namin ng Philippine-American Academy of Science and Engineering. At mula nung mag-caravan sila, na-introduce kami dito. Nagkaroon ng 2 informational interviews, una sa USA Stride at pagkatapos nito ay DOST. Very well structured naman po yung proseso. At nung time na yon, simula pa lamang ng pandemya nung 2020 nung mag-apply kami sa BIST. At pagkatapos ng maraming presentations, natanggap namin ang approval. At bagamat may pandemya, na-process naman agad yung mga financial support.
Dr. Homer, ano bang R&D project ang pinaggamitan o pinagagamitan ninyo nito ng BIST financial assistance na ito para sa inyo? At sa kabuuan, paano ito nakatulong sa inyong kumpanya?
Siguro bago ko po simulan yung teknolohiya na ginagamit namin, introduce ko po muna namin yung filosofiya namin sa bioassets. So we are in bioassets po, we are a purpose-driven company, and we always start with the why. And our focus is to bridge the gaps in animal health. And one of the unmet needs in animal industry is the capability to do the diagnostics at the point of need, which is a very important component of decision making in animal production. Kaya po nabuo yung Bridges Project, which is Brief Response to In-Location Diagnostics and Genome Sequencing. And the goal of the project is anchored in three areas. First is point-of-need diagnostics. Second is precision diagnostics. And these 2 areas will give us foundational support for a comprehensive disease surveillance and hopefully vaccine research. And right now, we are building a mobile laboratory that has both molecular and serological diagnostic capabilities. And what makes it different is that it has a provision for biocontainment wherein we can actually study or actually receive highly infectious microorganisms at the point of need. This will be the first of a kind in our country, and it will allow us to respond to disease outbreak rapidly, which will support decision-making and crafting mitigation strategies at the point of need. Another thing is that we are also establishing our capability to isolate, culture, identify, characterize pathogens, and at the molecular level, which is a key component of precision diagnostics. And in support of this initiative, which is the Precision Diagnostic Program, we are setting up the next generation sequencing capability that will actually serve the animal industry. Right now, we are moving towards genomics to get more information such as strains, variants, on the pathogenic microorganisms that we are working on. And this information is very important in generating customized vaccine. Ano ba yung customized vaccine? Basically, customized vaccines is basically taking the problematic microorganism from a particular farm and use that microorganism as a vaccine strain specific to that. Right now, we are looking into generating customized vaccine on a few diseases that are still unmet. And although it's still a small program, our team is extremely excited that we have a partnership that we have built with the farmers.
Sa tingin ko ito, Onin, pang-international talaga, no? Hindi lang dito sa atin ang potential market nito. Anyway, ano pa ba ang magagawa ng ating gobyerno, Dr. Homer, para mapalakas ang ating mga Filipino companies sa larangan ng technology at innovations? Alam ko, malaki ang experience mo, galing ka sa abroad, marami kang ma-share na insights dito.
napaka-importante po nito yung pagsasama ng gobyerno at saka private entities. Kasi po naniniwala po ako lang scientifico na innovation and commercialization needs funding. But funding is not enough. Funding alone is not enough. And I hope that the government will continue the BIST program and other funding vehicles. And ang isa po sa mga bagay na nakikita ko, swerte nga po nating mga scientifico dito sa Pilipinas. Meron namang mga pondo. And ang problema pong nakikita ko pong problema sa paggawa ng R&D activities sa Pilipinas ay yung procurement. And critical to R&D is the ease of procurement. And I think we need to address to fast track the R&D activities. And I hope not only DOST but the entire Philippine government can actually address this para mapabilis natin yung R&D activities. Kasi sa totoo lang po, may pera naman tayo eh. Kaya lang, mamasipag naman tayong mga Pilipino, masisinop tayo, kaya lang, may mga bagay po na nagpapabagal sa atin. And I think po, with how DOST is actually pushing initiatives such as this, magbabago po tayo. And then I also encourage the government to help build collaborative atmosphere among government agencies, research institutions, and private entities by providing venues to collaborate and build partnerships. At yan po ang natutuwa kami sa ginagawa namin ngayon dito sa Bioassets in collaboration po sa ITDI, PICARD, maraming academic institution. Ang amin pong initiative at advokasya ay we cannot do this alone. Collaboration is a key ingredient of an R&D activities. And what I am really happy right now po with the leadership of ITDI and our company, we have formed an interagency collaboration to address the African swine fever problem in the Philippines.
Maraming salamat po, Dr. Homer Pantua. Tuloy-tuloy po tayo ngayon. Ay makasama natin si Dr. Jerome Opalaganas, ang co-founder at CEO ng Nanotronics Incorporated. Magandang araw po.
Magandang araw po, Sir Onin, gayon din kay Secretary Boy de la Peña at gayon sa ating mga taga-subaybay ng Dost-Report.
Sir, maaari niyo po bang ipakilala sa amin ang Nanotronics Incorporated at so far ano po mga produkto at serbisyo ng kumpanya ito?
Okay po. So, ang Nanotronics Incorporated po ay isang startup. Kami po ay nasa kategoryang clean tech or clean technology. At kami po ay ngayon nag-pioneer ng production ng nanotechnology material dito po sa Pilipinas na gumagamit ng mga indigenous materials. So, ginawa po natin na dinala natin ang nanotechnology, ginawa po natin siya produkto upang matulungan hindi lang ang ating industriya, pati po ang ating gobyerno, research and development institution at pati po ang mga universities para po mapalawak pa nila ang kanilang mga research at mapalalim ang level ng kanilang output in terms of research output at mga publication.
Ano yung sir nalaman ng tungkol sa BIST for Industry program ng Department of Science and Technology? At so far, ano po bang masabi niyo sa proseso ng yung pinagdaanan?
Hindi niyo po na itatanong, ang Nanotronics Incorporated po ay produkto din po ng DOST P-Shirt. Kami po ay isang startup na grantee noong 2017 ay di pa man ipapasa noon ang Innovative Startup Act at hindi pa buzzword ang startup. So kami po ay ang unang grupo or batch na nabiyayaan. So bilang part po ng system ng DOST at P-Shirt, kami po ay nakakatanggap ng mga komunikasyon. So sa email, sa mga publication or sa newsletter at pati po sa Facebook. So dahil po dito, kami po ay aware sa mga iba't ibang programa ng DOST. So like yung BIST. Tungkol po sa may BIST, dahil po sa pandemya, ang aming proseso, instead po kami na pumunta pa sa DOST P-Shirt para mag-present or actually mag-submit ng aming dokumento at gumawa ng presentation, naging systematic po ito sa pamamagitan ng online facility. So doon po namin isinasubmit ang mga dokumento na kailangan upang una, ma-analyze at ma-screen ang aming application And then through online din po na conference via Skype or Zoom, ginawa po natin doon or ginawa po doon ang presentation. So iba't ibang level po ng presentation. So technical, pati yung management up to the level of approval. At yung in terms po ng announcement ng resulta ay madali rin po namin nalaman kasi po ito po ay sinasagawa via email at nakakatanggap din naman po kami ng sulat or liham regarding doon po sa result. So malaking ginhawa po ito dahil sa pandemya ngayon na meron pong ganitong sistema na naisaayos at na-implement ng DOST. So malaking pasasalamat po namin na nagkaroon ng ganito pong sistema at proyekto ang DOST.
Dr. Palaganas, ang R&D na inyong ginawa sa tulong ng BIST for Industry Program Assistance, ang title niya ay Development of a Fully Advanced and Highly Sustainable Packaging Material Using Advanced Nanotechnology Materials from Indigenous Plants for the packaging industry. Medyo mahaba yung title pero ang madaling tandaan dyan, galing sa indigenous plants yung mga raw material. Maaari mo bang i-explain sa ating mga taga-subaybay kung para saan ang proyekto na ito at paano nakatulong ang BIST for Industry Program para maisakatuparan itong inyong objective na ito?
Maraming salamat po sa tanong, Secretary de la Peña. So, yung aming pong proyekto na tinatawag na Development of Fully Advanced, Highly Sustainable Packaging Material using Advanced and Nanotechnology Materials from Indigenous Plants in the Packaging Industry, ito po ay gagawa po kami ng material which is combining nanotechnology right now at of course sa tulong din po ng iba pang indigenous plants para magkaroon ng biomaterial na at the end of the day magagamit po natin sa packaging industry. Alam po natin ngayon na yung plastic or yung single-use plastic ay malaking problema dahil po una, nagiging basura to pagkatapos magamit natin ang produkto at pangalawa sa basura, marami pa itong nililikang panibagong problema. So ang mga problema tulad ng landfill, ocean pollution at the same time yung carbon emission. So sa tulong po ng aming proyekto, so gagawa po kami ng material upang mapalitan po yung plastic. So ang layunin po namin nito, it's using yung available namin na nanotechnology material na gawa na rin naman po sa indigenous plants at umahanap po kami ng panibagong local material para i-combine. So magiging final material po ito na magagamit ng packaging. So ang advantages po nito, it's una, hindi tulad na papel na mechanically weak at may barrier property problem, yung malilikaw po naming material ay bio-based, biodegradable, biocompostable, at the same time, mechanically enhanced in terms of yung kanyang properties at barrier enhanced. So pag ginamit po natin ito, this is very highly sustainable. Ang target po natin dito ay magamit po ito ng packaging industry, hindi lamang po ng mga malalaking kumpanya, pati naman po ng mga small, medium enterprises at doon po sa mga gumagawa ng produkto na para po maipackage nila to at makatulong na rin po sa ating environment.
Dr. Rome, ano sa tingin mo pa ang maaaring gawin ng ating pamahalaan para mapalakas ang ating mga Pilipino companies sa larangan ng technology at innovation?
Maraming salamat po sa tanong, Secretary. Sa palagay ko po bilang startup, nakikita ko po na bukod po sa pondo at sa initiative po ng DOST, meron din po na mga initiatives na nagagaling sa ibang ahensya ng gobyerno. Pero kinakailangan din po na actually may mga areas po na improvement katulad po sa ease of doing business at the same time po yung active participation po ng mga startups at SME para magkaroon po ng inclusive collaboration among the stakeholders. So sa tingin ko po yung success story po ng isang startup ay hindi bubuo sa pamamagitan lamang ng ilang ahensya. Kailangan po nito ay ang buong ecosystem na kailangan pa po sana pong asin dahil nag-uumpisa pa lang po tayo sa Pilipinas at nakikita ko po na nagiging positibo naman po ang resulta ng iba't ibang programa, but kailangan lang po itong pag-ibayuhin para magkaroon po siya ng long-term sustainability. Sekboy.
Salamat po, Dr. Jerome O. Palaganas. Ang susunod po natin mga kapanayam ay suki na po sa ating programa. Walang iba kundi si Mr. Philip S. Cruz, ang President ng Urbanex Laboratories Incorporated. Magandang araw po, sir, at welcome back to Dost-Report.
Magandang araw din sa iyo, Onin, at kay Secretary de la Peña. Maraming salamat sa inyong pag-imbita sa inyong programa.
Apo, sir, para sa mga hindi pa nakakakilala ng Urbanex Laboratories, maaari po ba rin yung ipakilala po ito sa amin at so far, ano po mga produkto at serbisyo ng inyong kumpanya?
Ang Urbanex po is a technology-oriented company, and noong 2011, pioneer po namin yung paggawa ng spray-dried extract sa Pilipinas ng mga halamang gamot. And tamang-tama naman po sa panahon na yun, doon na-launch yung Tuklas Lunas program at naka-join agad kami as a first private company na naka-join ng Tuklas Lunas program. Pag sinabi po nating herbal extracts, ibig po sabihin nito, it can be anywhere from 5 to 10 times na mas concentrated or mas potent compared to our traditional powdered herb. Pag sinabi po naman nating standardized, ibig po sabihin nito sinukat natin yung laman ng health benefiting phytochemicals. So gusto ko lang po i-emphasize yun as a focus ng company namin kasi na-discoveryhan namin na marami tayong mga varieties ng mga herbal plants na pag sinukat mo yung pinaka-importanting compound, napaka-variable between plants. No? Meron kaming nakitang mga as much as 10 times more active ingredients than others. So sa tulong po ng DOST-based program, ang kumpanya rin po namin ay nakapagtayo ng isang advanced na pasilidad para sa pag-scale up ng teknolohiya na galing sa akademya. Maraming na-acquire kami na sari-saring equipment. Ang gusto ko lang i-emphasize sa trust ng company namin, pag gumawa kasi ng isang teknolohiya from the academe, ito ay binase sa mga laboratory scale equipment. And chances are that pag in-scale up mo ito, in-adapt ng industry, maraming pang magiging adjustment na kailangan. So ito po yung scale-up laboratory namin na natayo namin. And we're working right now with a lot of different institutions. Kami po ang gumagawa ng mga standardized extracts nila from Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. Ang product po na unang na-standardize namin under the Tuklas Lunas program yung tawa-tawa po. Right now, katatapos lang ng clinical study and we hope to register this as a drug very soon.
Kaya namagin po ninyo sa mga nakaraan nating panayam na kayo natulungan po ng DOST sa mga magitan ng iba nitong programa. Kaya pamili na po kayo sa mga serbisyo ng ahensya. Ano na lang po, sir, ang inyong masasabi sa prosesong inyong pinagdaanan para po sa BAST for Industry Program?
Ang Urbanex po, ang pinakauna po na kumpanya na naaprubahan ng BIST program. So wala po actually kaming matanungan ng mga ibang kumpanya bilang applicant. Ang kainaman naman po sa pag-apply sa DOST, pare-pareho po ang mga proseso ng pag-apply kung whatever program nito, no. So kung nakapagsubok kayong mag-apply sa setup program, which I know marami sa ating mga nanonood naka-apply na dati, ganun din po ang BIST. Except lang sa BIST is kailangan mo talagang i-rationalize yung research mo and to make sure na ang funding ay gagamitin sa research and hindi sa production. Kung private sector ka, very important na isipin natin na ito ay loan, dapat itong bayaran. So nung nagpili kami ng project na gagawin para sa BIST, talagang inisip namin na dapat low-hanging fruit. Yung bagang konting kembot na lang, pwede na namin i-adapt yung teknolohiya at ma-commercialize. We felt na it's very risky yung mag-go into medyo deep research na kailangan natin bayaran yung BIST in a shorter period of time. I-evaluate po, of course, ng mga specialista ng DOST itong mga project proposals natin. So kailangan dapat siguraduhin natin na pinag-isipan natin ng mabuti ito. Ang magsasabi ko po naman is very helpful yung DOST staff in making the proposals, lalo na kung first-timer kayo. So no worries po on the application. Hindi po ito mahirap, masasabi ko.
Philip, ano bang R&D ang pinagamitan nitong assistance na ito coming from the BIST for Industry Program? At siguro ipaki-explain mo na rin sa ating mga taga-subaybay kung paano nakatulong ang BIST sa project ninyong ito.
Na-mention ko pa earlier na ang kumpanya namin ay nag-pioneer paggawa ng spray-dried extracts in 2011. During that time, wala pang nag-iisip gumawa nito, puro powdered herb. Ang paggawa po namin ng spray-dried extract, ang nasa isip namin, pag ginawa namin itong kapsula or tableta, kasi concentrated siya, pwede namin mapapaliit yung kapsula or tableta or marireduce significantly yung number of dosing na iti-take kada isang araw. So this turned out to be in theory. We realize it, meron palang mga halaman or maraming halaman gamot na pag in-extract mo at in-spray dry mo, ang lalabas medyo malagkit siya o malangis-langis at mabilis tumigas. This is because of the presence of compounds like waxes, oils, pectins, organic acids na hindi naman ito nakakatulong sa medicinal value ng halaman, pero nagiging problema siya sa pag-process. So dito po talaga nakatulong ang BIS sa amin kasi pag hindi kami nag-adapt ng new technology, itong mga extract na ito kailangan haluan namin ng maraming excipient like maltodextrin para hindi na siya maging malagkit. Kaso lang pag hinaluan namin siya, na-defeat yung very purpose na very objective namin na gumawa ng concentrated na produkto kasi dinilute namin rin, hinaluan namin ng excipient nga. So, through the BOST, nakapag-acquire kami ng sari-saring equipment na para papag-aralan kung paano matanggal itong mga unwanted compounds na to and therefore make the product more concentrated, more stable, kahit na matagal na hindi siya titigas. So, patapos na po actually ang research namin ngayong 2022 and through sa technology na na-develop namin sa tulong ng BIST, pwede kong masabi na ang usual na 3 tableta o kapsula, magagawa namin 1 na lang. So, although mas mahal ang extract, kung titingnan mo dahil 1 na lang ang kailangan mong inumin instead of 3, in reality, mas makakatipid ka.
Sa tingin mo ba, Philip, ano pa ang maaaring gawin ng ating pamahalaan para naman mapalakas ang ating mga Filipino companies, lalo na dito sa area ng technology and innovation?
Secretary, siguro maalala nyo pa, nung araw na active ako sa aquaculture, I've been engaging with DOST for the last 30 years. Masasabi ko po with certainty na the last 6 years, ang golden age ng DOST as far as supporting industry growth through science and technology. Marami po na gawa na ang DOST para sa industriya. In fact, masasabi ko, the ball is in the hands of the industry. But kung tatanungin niyo ako kung ano pa bang pwedeng magawa, I think na-mention na rin ito earlier ng other resource persons natin, pero I'd like to emphasize is to increase industry-academe collaboration. The fact of the matter is that ang Philippines ang isa sa pinakamababa ang industry-academe collaboration in the region. So for this to succeed, importante po na matuto ang industriya i-respect yung intellectual property ng mga researchers natin. But very important rin po na yung mag-immerse talaga sa industry at intindihin yung mga problema para itong mga innovations na gawain nila are truly relevant to industry.
Ay, salamat po, Mr. Philip S. Cruz, Sekboy. Baka may mga nais po kayo mabatid sa ating mga taga-subaybay.
Una-una, nagpapasalamat ako kay John Vincent, kay Jerome, kay Dr. Homer, kay Philip sa kanilang pagpapaunlak sa ating paanyaya ngayon na ma-interview dito. At napaka-interesting ng mga narinig ko ngayong araw na ito. Natutuwa din ako kasi kung tingnan mo yung ating profile, actually sila yung mga unang recipients or beneficiaries ay nakakalat naman sila sa iba't ibang lugar. Ano? So for example, yung kumpanya nila John Vincent ay Iloilo based, yung company nila Dr. Homer ay Batangas based, yung company nila Jerome ito ay sa Laguna, at saka yun namang kay Philip ay sa Bacolod. Ano? Natutuwa ako kasi yan ang gusto namin mangyari, na magkaroon ng mga innovative activities at yung talagang technology-based companies na naka-base sa ating mga iba't ibang rehiyon. Ang actually itong component na ito ng Science for Change program, isa ito sa 4 na components ng Science for Change program, yung niche R&D centers in the regions, yung Cradle na collaborative R&D to leverage the economy, yung RD leadership program, at saka itong BIS. Ito ang pinaka-least subscribed pa. Ano? Kasi hindi ganun kadami siguro pa ang ating mga SMEs, ano, na ready na for doing their own R&D. And nakita mo naman siguro onin ang background ng ating mga na-interview ngayon. Medyo mabigat ang background din nila sa R&D, either galing sa academe or galing sa research institutions o matagal na nasa technology-based enterprise itong mga company na ito. Kaya yun nga, tama nga yung sinabi kanina na siyempre pag-iisipan mo muna, sabi nga ni Philip, kung paano mo mababayaran kasi ito ay may obligasyon ka na bayaran, ano? At ang isa lang kagandahan na naobserbahan ko dito sa mga unang beneficiaries natin ay talagang yung mga produkto nila at innovations ay pang ano talaga, pang global positioning o global market. At sana sa darating na bagong administrasyon ay mas mapalakas pa ito ma-institutionalize at nang sa ganon ay mas marami pang makinabang. Siguro banggitin ko lang for the benefit of John Vincent and Philip, I might be able to visit your companies. I will be in Iloilo and Bacolod on May 24 and May 25. I'm doing the rounds of all the regions before I bow out, and my schedule for Region 6 is on May 24 and 25. I hope to see you doon. Salamat.
Salamat po, Sekboy. Pero bago po tayo magpaalam, imbitahan po muna ninyo ang ating mga manonood na abangan ng Syensikat na magsisimula na bukas.
Inanyayahan ko po ang ating mga taga-subaybay na panuorin na muli ang Syensikat, Pinoy Popular Science para sa lahat. Resume na po ang ating ang showing ng mga episodes ng Syensikat. Simula na ng April 23. Okay? At sunod-sunod na yan every Saturday and Sunday. Pag Saturday 8 a.m. at Saturday 4 p.m. Ganun din pag Sunday 8 a.m. at Sunday 4 p.m. sa CNN. Actually ang pag-uusapan na susunod ay ang locally brewed beer mula sa Batanes, ang Ibatan Beer. So abangan natin ang Syensikat, Pinoy Popular Science para sa lahat.
Salamat po, Sekboy, mga kapatid. Salamat po muli sa inyong pagsubaybay. Mas marami pang balita mula sa mundo ng agam at teknolohiya ang ating pag-uusapan. Kaya tutok lamang kayo tuwing Biyernes, alas 4 ng hapon, dito sa DOS-TV Facebook page at YouTube channel. Palagi rin tumutok sa mga websites at FB pages ng ating mga ahensya ng DOST para sa latest happenings nila at mga events tungkol sa iba't ibang R&D projects at mga inobasyon. Bisitahin din ang DOST Philippines FB page para di mahuli sa mga nakalinya activities ng DOST. Ako po si Onin Miranda. Ito ang mga balita may kinalaman sa agam, teknolohiya at inomasyon, hatid ang pagbabago para sa maunlad na mundo.
At ako po muli ang inyong lingkod, Secretary Fortunato de la Peña ng Department of Science and Technology na nagpapasalamat sa inyong pagsubaybay sa DOST Report.